Okay, so this is Francis Bestman, the founder of the PSL Luxury Lifestyle brand, together with my team of founders, namely Chief Bartholomew Ugu, Madam Augustina Edomekpare, and Barrister Felicity Udwehi. So I bring you new information about the progress we are making. Like I promised in January, I'm going to update you about every new development so that you stay informed. So this very edition of my addressing us is going to be a more thorough and detailed one, because there are new programs that have come up that you need to know about. So as we launch every program, I inform you about it so that you know where you come in. Most importantly, there are two things here, so let me clearly demarcate them. One of them is our housing program, and the other is our new CASHWAPP program. So let me start with the housing program. Yes, because if you fund us, okay, remember all of these are about funding the PSL project, right? So right now the sun is hot and I'm looking for a comfortable spot to enjoy also the ambience of an environment that is free of distraction. Okay, so let's go straight into talking about firstly the housing program. Yes, so if you fund us, because I'm talking to you potential stakeholder, you are not just funding a company, because we are not a company. Yes, PSL Luxury Lifestyle is a brand, not a company. And we want every project we build to have the stamp of luxury on it. That is why if you fund us, you are not just funding a company, you are funding lifestyle upgrade, because we will fund hubs. That is the first thing we do with your funds. Secondly, we will fund homes. And thirdly, we will fund hopes. So we are going to fund hubs, homes, and hopes. How does it connect? All right, so let's start talking. Yes, firstly, we have looked at the people who, like myself, who have been a professional, struggling to work for myself, okay? I've faced so many challenges in working for myself as a consultant, okay? So there are professionals who are going through what I have been through, especially in the area of not being certain of when next you will get paid, because you do not know if the client you have right now is going to stay through the contract you've had, okay, or default. If they stay through, you could get paid. But still, in my own experience, even when they stay through, it gets to a point where they still don't meet up, okay, at the end of the day. Either you receive first payment and you don't receive other payments. So now there are professionals who are going through this very experience, and the hubs we create are for this kind of professionals. The funding we get from you, we use it in training these professionals to keep them engaged, to be able to get steady jobs, work that they can do and earn steady income, unlike the experience they've had in other aspects of looking for their daily bread, okay? So we are creating hubs where professionals are trained to have guaranteed work and guaranteed pay. First thing we do with that money. And the reason why we are creating these hubs, why it's important, okay, is because it is more liquid for those who are funding us. If we went straight into funding homes, which is our second ambient, okay, it will take you 6 years to recoup funds. All right, so what we want to do first is we want to make sure that we can recoup funds as quickly as possible with the work we do in our hubs. That is leveraging our Power 40 scientific trading method that we use in equipping those professionals who have been trained to manage funds, okay, that comes directly from our stakeholders funding. So the first thing, we want to use those funds to generate returns quickly so that our stakeholders can firstly recoup their capital. And that is also to convince our stakeholders that our project is sustainable and stable too. Okay, so once we have been able to do that, The next thing is to go into homes. Now, let me talk to you. If you are ready to own your own home right now, this is what we do, why we are different. Yes, we do not want you to carry lump sum of money and put into your home, okay? And you start looking for money to sustain yourself. No. So what we do is we are creating a very flexible and comfortable home ownership program where when you are ready, that is to say you have the amount ready to pay for your home, we are going to give you a fine plan where firstly, you are going to experience us as we are. Contact us first. Tell us about your home desire, where you want your home to be located. You have not started building, so you want us to know about the type of building you would like to occupy, okay? And you also have your dream home in terms of the interior. What kind of furnishing are you expecting in your home? Then, what are the luxury features you also want in your home? Discuss all of this with us first, and this is the first thing we do when you are ready to build your home, okay? The next thing is we now say, fine and good, we have seen your blueprint of the home. We are going to come out with a prototype, which is a blueprint in a printout, okay? That is what they call building plan. But now we are having a 3D interior and exterior to show you whether this represents the kind of home you are talking about. And if you say yes to that, then we have the first layer settled, okay? The next thing is we are going to say keep your funds, okay? We do not want you to spend all of this money into labor cost. We are going to use our funds because we have been operating with our stakeholders to generate funds for such projects, okay? So now we are going to use our funds, finish building this home, handle all the cost whatsoever, not even one cost passed on to you. You still have your money, right? Then as soon as we are done building, we are going to say, hey, you there, come and see your home. Do you like it? You come do your first home inspection. Okay, you are going to be the first person to have the key to access this home that was built exactly with your idea. All right? Then if it meets exactly your taste, we are going to say, okay, now let's be sure that you were right about the choice of this environment you want to live in. We're going to give you 5 free months occupancy. Still, you have not put down any money for the home you want to live in, your dream home. And we say move in with your family, so it doesn't have to do with just your own taste, okay? Is everyone comfortable in the home? And within these 5 months, we are going to structure a payment plan. So now remember, we have helped you to keep your funds still intact, okay? Then we structure a payment plan while you are living in this home to feel if this is where you want to live permanently. If it is not where you want to live permanently, maybe one or two things were off for you, maybe the location doesn't seem right for you at the end of the day, you can still discuss with us to sell it off. Okay, this is the only time when we sell the home we had built for you to someone else. Otherwise, our program is the first occupier becomes the final owner. Okay, so the home doesn't get sold to the next person, and still it does not cost you anything for us to have this home built for you. You have your money intact, no risk whatsoever, which is a leverage for you to use your funds and do other business. And then because in PSL we are building hubs first, you can first of all fund our hubs and generate monthly revenue from that same fund you would have put into your home, something you can't find anywhere else. So we create an investment program through our hubs. Firstly, for you who had a plan of building your home and putting down all the payment at once, okay? Either you are buying or you are building, you will need to start spending money upfront without getting it back, right? But now we are creating that leverage because of our hubs, where you can, rather than put in the money immediately into cost area that does not generate revenue, put it into our hubs project by funding our stakes, okay? Thereby generating revenue from the same money you meant for your home. And once that is done, we now have a flexible payment plan still, okay? For the period of 5 months while you were living free in this home built according to your own specification and your standard, adding all other features like free internet, like even your dream car, okay? And security system, CCTV camera, even a private pool if you want that too, okay? During all of this, test phase of experiencing the home you'll be living in for the rest of your life, your own dream home. You will not be spending any money. So that money, we will advise you to put it into our hub so it can generate for you 20% monthly returns. How do you see that? For the same money you would have put in. So in 5 months, you would have generated 100%. True or false? Very true. You see why it is so important to partner with us, PSL, in even your home ownership plan, especially for first-time owners who are sure they are ready to start owning their homes right now. Okay, so when you have finally decided you want to keep this home as your home, your family loves it, nobody wants to miss the features you have experienced for 5 months without paying down anything, we now tell you that, okay, even at this point, do not pay the full cost, because we want you to retain part of your capital and use it to earn more value, okay, from our own investment project, which is the hubs we are building, okay, to empower professionals to earn income while we generate revenue for ourselves and distribute part of our revenue to our stakeholders, who you become one as a future homeowner. How do you see that, right? So now, from the 6th month upward, when you are supposed to now pay fully for the home you have occupied free, we now give you an installment plan that runs through 7 months. So in 7 months, you are going to pay down one of the 12 parts, okay, of your full home cost. So we break down the cost of this home into 12 parts, and you start paying it monthly for the next 7 months. Why do we do this? It allows you to keep the larger portion, okay, of this fund in your portfolio that generates 20% revenue for you. You see that, right? Or 20% returns from our hub project, while at the same time you are paying for your home ownership, okay, in piecemeal. So you pay in 12 parts each month for the next 7 months. Then this is where the magic happens. After successfully paying for the next 7 months, okay, you now have 5 extra months that you're supposed to pay out. We now give you extra value of 11 months free, where you will not make any payments. Then at the end of the 11 months, you pay again 1 month value. That is out of the remaining 5 parts remaining, okay? Then again, we'll give you another 11 months free, and this runs for the next 5 years. So you enjoy extra value while your money meant for your home is doing good for you, generating revenue for our hub, getting professionals equipped to earn income steadily for themselves, and you become our stakeholder also, generating steady income. You can't find this value anywhere. So our project is not just funding hubs, like we have discussed, not just funding homes, but also funding hopes. The hopes we are talking about is the hope of our professionals to earn steady income and come out of the cycle of unsecure, okay, gigs in the gig economy, okay, and also the hope of dream owners, aspiring home owners, okay, having their first home without any hitch in getting it, okay, because we put in all the cost in forward, okay, forward payment. We pay everything forward for them, build the home according to their taste, and they put in no cost yet until they are satisfied with the home we have built, giving them 5 months free occupancy, okay, and then 11 months continuous free experience before they finish paying down for this home. So how do you see this value? We meet the home of aspiring dream owners and the hope of also professionals. This is what sets us apart. PSL like none other. PSL or no other. Okay, so now this is the first thing I want to talk to you about, because I'm excited about it. And this is the strongest value why we want you to support the PSL project. Okay, now let me go back and talk about the next new development. Like I told you, there are 2 new developments I wanted to talk about today. So the next new development is the CASHWAPP project we are launching. So right now it is officially live, okay, that our CASHWAPP project has been launched, and this is what we did for this project. Remember, when we started this PSL journey, we talked about stakeholders building a family with us, right? Helping us to fund the hubs we develop in different locations, okay? So now we wanted to try out giving other people outside of our startup city, Port Harcourt, opportunity to also experience how our stakeholders are benefiting from our project even before a hub gets built in their own city. So we came up with the CASHWAPP project. So the CASHWAPP project is now live. And in this live setting, we want to demonstrate how effectively it is going to help our stakeholders to access, okay, the funding opportunity that would have been a little bit difficult to access if they all waited for it to get to them in their respective cities. So we have created two kinds of access. One is called the DIY offering, and the second one is the DFY offering. So for the DIY offering, we want our potential stakeholders to experience firsthand what our trained professionals are actually doing for them. Okay, so this time it is do it yourself. They register as users, okay, in this case of our community's offering of value. So members of our community, they register and then they start participating in the daily activities guided by a virtual hub manager, okay, or virtual admin. That is the first thing. Then the next thing is, if they are not doing it for themselves, then the virtual hub gives them access to multiple slots, okay, just like they would have done in our physical hub, but still all coordinated within our CASHWAPP community. So the good news is that the community is now live, which means you can join our stakeholders from anywhere you are. So I'm going to run down the details because we are currently recruiting the first 37 persons who will work as our virtual admins and managers. Okay, and this is an opportunity, exciting opportunity for those also who would have waited long before they can participate as professionals in our program. This is now an opportunity for you to join our virtual hubs. Okay, so this is good news. So we are now building. We want to see how many hubs can run simultaneously, how many virtual hubs can run simultaneously, and this is speed, something we could not have achieved if we wanted to keep developing physical hubs first. Okay, so while we are developing physical hubs one side, we are going to be running virtual hubs to see how much our options, okay, are in demand to people out there who are learning about PSL Cowork network for the first time. And that includes you, if this is the first time you are hearing about this opportunity. So I want to run through the details. I believe this will take a bit of time. I want to also compare this opportunity with other opportunities, okay? Comparatively, let's see the strengths. You know, many people can misunderstand projects like ours because it asks for funding from the public, right? And most people want to know whether or not we are regulated. If not, why? So I want to tell you the good and the bad side of waiting to be regulated and also doing things as people will say when flagged. Okay, you should avoid it. I want to tell you why our project can stand the test of time despite not following the general route, because we are creating an opportunity that will change the game. Okay, so let's look at all of these benefits and comparative strength as well as weakness and how we are handling things out together. All right, so let's go in and see. Okay, so welcome back inside. Right now I'm going to look at all the things I've talked about our virtual hubs, starting with the new PSL CASHWAPP community. So I want to look at the comparative features. I mean, so many persons would want to say one thing or the other about why we may be weak in one area and strong in the other area. So I want to tell you that we know about all of this, okay? So from a general perspective, the PSL Cowork network, including its stake funding model, physical hubs with trained professionals, monthly returns, and the experimental CASHWAPP virtual hub via WhatsApp, is an innovative hybrid of co-working access, passive income promise, job creation in Nigeria, and community-driven funding. It is positioned as a decentralized, inflation-protected ecosystem with fixed rate returns. We are talking here about 20% monthly per stake. Auto diversification across hubs and social impact, employing locals in skills like scientific gold trading. So despite how beautiful this is, okay, honestly, for most persons, this is a high risk, high reward concept. I mean, if you don't really know the nitty gritty of this project, you will also think that it carries red flags, okay? Especially with some clever structural ideas. You might be afraid why you should not be part of this project because it looks like many of the programs that have failed. All right. And for so many persons with the red flags they are thinking is present, okay, they will place our project closer to unregulated high yield schemes that are not reliable. Okay, because they are comparing us with established investment vehicles, and we want to make sure that we are all on the same page. I want to make sure that we understand this together, okay? So I will be giving us a balanced, no sugarcoat breakdown, and then compare with all the other options out there. Of course, right now I'm using the general perception of those who don't know the nitty gritty of PSL Cowork network. Okay, so the upsize and competitive edge. You would want to say that these other options are, more competitive than us, right? So let's look at the upsize first. Now, inflation protection for Nigerians. Now, with fixed 1,400 naira per USD rate, this shields payouts from naira volatility. And this is critical in a market where rates fluctuate widely. We also have one of the upsides as low entry barrier. You start at $200. It is accessible when compared with traditional investments requiring thousands of dollars. Then also, one of our upsides is social impact narrative. This is because our project funds jobs slash training for more than 21 people per hub. And this appeals to mission-driven investors. Example, let's look at missionaries, philanthropists, and what have you, good-hearted people, okay? Then another of our upside includes auto diversification. Here, independent hubs limit spillover risk, and scaling to 36 weekly stakes creates a compounding streams. This is good for anyone thinking of growing their wealth over time and especially within a short time span. Then hybrid virtual slash physical test. Remember, we just started a new program, which is the WhatsApp community, and it lowers tech barriers slash costs while proving demand before full app and hub rollout. Then we have lifestyle perks. Here we're talking about co-work access, global fiesta, elite networking, and much more. All of this differentiates us from pure financial play. So we are talking about real lifestyle, real value. Now, in terms of our competitive edge, looking at the upsides I've mentioned. Firstly, we are localized to Nigeria's realities, mentioning Naira Hedge, job creation in co-working and training, etc. Okay, we have hands-free, done for you option plus do-it-yourself control choice, which caters to trust levels. We also have monthly and weekly payouts and scaling flexibility. This feels more active passive than static dividends. Then we have community first virtual hubs, and this lower opportunity cost, okay, is just an experimentation, however. However, it is better for us than expensive app development. I mean, we cannot just rush into app development as most projects will do. Okay, so we are doing an experiment to see how people receive our project, and we are getting hands involved. Now, what are our competitors and the advantages they could have over us or we have over them. So I'm talking again based on what you might feel about us if you are not grounded in the nitty-gritty of our program. So this might be the general bias why many persons may not want to join us, okay? Especially those who are following regulated structure. So 5 major global competitors we can look at. These are competitors that are established, regulated platforms for passive income, more especially real estate and P2P. So the first one on our list here is Fundrise. Fundrise is about real estate crowdfunding. It is accessible for non-accredited investors and it offers 8 to 12% historical returns. Mentioned in here categorically 8 to 12% compared with ours, right? So our advantage for PSL includes lower entry. We're talking here about $200 versus $10 to $1,000 minimum on the other platform, okay? Then we have fixed Naira rates, and this is what we offer as protection against inflation, while Fundrise is exposed to US dollar inflation. Then we have job creation impact. While Fundrise is pure property, ours we are looking at helping people, okay, not just property, not just building property. Remember, I've mentioned from the start that we have our property edge, which is not just casually property. We're talking here about real development that meets the dream of people. So we are really focused about people, not just doing it because we are looking for money, right? So, but Fundrise is regulated, it is transparent with audited performance. I mean, who wouldn't want to follow a secure channel? That is why many persons will want to choose Fundrise over us, right? But we are not saying don't make your choice, right? We are only telling you why you can think of us as your option, even while you know that the other options have some edge that we don't currently have since we are on a test or experimental phase of our launch. Now we have another competition here that is Prosper or Lending Club. Now this is a P2P lending which offers 5 to 10% returns for lenders. Now our advantage as PSL includes higher promised yield. We are offering 20% monthly. This is versus the annual single digits that you find on Prosper, right? Now, we also have diversification across hubs for those who are funding us, whereas the P2P often is borrower default heavy. Okay. However, again, another edge you will see our competition has over us. Prosper is the Security Exchange Commission regulated. It is called SEC. Okay, so it's SEC regulated with credit checks, which currently PSL lacks. So PSL, we are not interested in your credit profile. All right. We are only interested in your interest. How do you see that? Okay, so we have another competition, the Crowd Street. Remember, before I go back or go into the next competition, you see, when you talk about regulation, regulation means limitation. Don't even think it is objectively positive. It is only designed to protect with all the limitations embedded. It's just like you wake up blind. Okay, you were sleeping, you know while sleeping you are at rest, right? Blind too, right? Because your eyes cannot see outside because your eyes are shut. Then you wake up, you are blind. That is a limitation. But if you are just sleeping and you couldn't see, that is rest. But when you wake up and you can't see, that is being blind. So in regulation, you do not approach the things that are blocked from your reach. That is regulation. So you are blind. So do not always see regulation as positive. It is meant to protect, but does not immediately imply your benefits. Okay, so that is a blindness, because being regulated means there are benefits you could have got from that same program, that same platform, that is not offered you because the developers of the platform are trying to make sure that they do not go against regulatory frameworks in their industry. So they do not serve you anything that would have been raised, as a bridge of one regulation or the other. So, but we, in our current status, are not under any of these regulations like the SEC. Okay, and this is not a proud saying, rather, This is just an appeal to the reasons why we can experiment until we are sure we have given out enough value, then we can start going the regulatory direction. So now that we are still unregulated, it is an opportunity for you, pioneers, to join us. So now I go into the next competition, that is Crowd Street. Here it is a commercial real estate syndication service, okay, that offers 15 to 25% targeted IRR for accredited investors. You can see that, right? But PSL has this advantage. We have much lower minimum. You know, when we talk about accredited investors, it means somebody who has up to $200,000 to risk in any investment. But we are talking about $200, okay, versus $25,000 that would have come from accredited investors. So we are not going for the big pockets. We are not going for the deep pockets. Okay? We are going for the ordinary day-to-day income earners, middle class and informal sector people like you and I. Even those who depend on their monthly salaries can also join PSL because $200 is everybody's money. Okay? Now, ours is non-accredited access. We also have local impact. However, still tilting the direction of those who prefer everything to go in one way. Crowd Street has vetted deals. When we say vetted deals, it means that it has been screened through, okay, and found safe, okay. It also has track record, which means it has been in business for a long time and has been paying out, okay. It has legal protections, which means it has all the policies in place and insurance coverage. But PSL is experimental and unregulated. Again, like I'm saying, since it is my vision and it is my project I'm calling us to be part of, okay, I am in Nigeria. I'm not in the United States of America. In Nigeria, things are designed with the people in mind, okay, not the government. When you put the government first, you have to start thinking of everything being done according to the books. Okay, but when you put the people first, you have to play down on certain things until a certain time when you are sure you have given out enough value so your name can stay afloat. Okay, so it is usually the big boys in every industry that you see keeping everything at a flat rate, a benchmark that does not go above most of the return value we call repo rate, whether they are the banks, they are the microfinance, whether they are, I mean, you mentioned them, right? The big boys, the big names. And for these people, it's already too late for you to join them and make money because they have been there. So their founders have made the money. And now anyone who is buying shares in them is just a name. I'm not discriminating buying shares, okay? But I'm just telling you that when you are looking for regulated things, know that it's going to take you a long time to become wealthy. The people who become wealthy are those who started with them, just as we are before the regulation. Okay, while we are still experimental. Remember, we are not a Ponzi scheme, so nothing to be afraid of that will not be there. We have the long-term vision, but at this point, we are still scratching the ground. Okay, and this is time for you to benefit from what we are doing. In the future, in the long run, we would have satisfied the minimum number of people we want to base our foundations on, which includes you. Then we can get into that regulated status. So for now, not being regulated might seem a turn off for a lot of people who like to play safe, right? But for the people who want to benefit huge, why trusting the process? Because our process is tested and proven, okay? And we own the process, so we are not copying from another, which is why you can trust us and work with us. For such people like you who want to gain the most while we are still at the cradle, this is the best time, like planters. Okay, when you join us in planting, you have a portion of the yield to come. But when you wait for us to yield, we will sell at market rates to you. How do you see that? All right, so let's go now to our fourth competition, and that is Yield Street. It is alternative assets, private credit / real estate that offers 8 to 15% yields. Now, again, our advantage as PSL, we have a simpler entry and scaling, which also provides Naira hedge for locals. We have community perks. However, again, on the side where we say our weakness. Yield Street is regulated, it is diversified with strong due diligence, whereas PSL's returns for so many persons it might seem unstable without clear revenue model. Like I said, this is from the general view, right? But from the insider's view, we are well packaged. And we are not a hype system. That is why you're not seeing adverts flying here and there. So what I'm talking about here is a system for those who are within to understand. Those who are without will find a way to get to you. But for now, we only want a community. So people who want to see this vision thrive. And without their support, well, we can only be nothing, right? But if you support us, we can get to where we want to go. And we are a people with integrity, okay, in our let's talk about our profile. So my team of founders are people with integrity, excellent results, so no bad records. All right. So you can trust our project. Then we are not people who travel Nigeria, Europe, Asia, America, and all of that. So enjoying our lives for now. We are people who are settled in our local base. So we understand the Nigerian situation. Okay. If need be, traveling will be to expand, set up hubs, not for leisure. But we want people to enjoy the maximum benefit and returns of our projects for supporting the building stage. Okay, so please pardon us for not being regulated at this stage because we are coming there when the time comes. Now, our final, bigger, and also let's say competition with an edge over us is Vanguard slash Fidelity. So I'm giving you these options so that you can know that there are big options out there. And if you still choose us, it is because you understand the importance of building from the scratch, not waiting until it is fully built. Then you want to come in. So this has high dividend ETF. We're talking about exchange traded funds, right? And it includes SCHD, which offers 3 to 4% yield. You're talking about low yield, right? And low fees. That's for Vanguard. Then PSL's advantage includes much higher yield potential and also local relevance and impact focus. I mean, if you like what I'm just mentioning about PSL, you might want to choose us, right? But if you want structure, here, ETFs are ultra safe. They are liquid. They are regulated. Whereas PSL has opacity and high risk structure. You know, being part or backing any startup is always high risk. But imagine those who started, okay, small and got the funders behind them. When they grow big, their initial funders become big with them. How do you see that? So if you're waiting for us to become big before you join us, it might become too late for you to catch the wave. But if you join us as we are starting small, you will be sure to benefit from the big returns that is sure to come. Now, I've looked at the big competitions. Let's also look at the minor global niche competitors out there. These are those that have similar high yield slash community models. So first one we are looking at is Mintos or Peerberry, and it is European P2P that offers 10 to 15% returns. You see, this is big returns, right? Because it's now within the high yield programs, right? For most people who confuse us among the high yield just because we are offering 20%, you have to be cautionary about that. Okay, tag. We are not high yield. We are real in our offering. Okay. Now, PSS advantage includes Naira specific protection, job impact, whereas those platforms have buyback guarantees, they are regulated, so they have regulation, which PSL lacks. Like I've mentioned, you see, our strongest weakness, if I'm using the word correctly, strongest weakness, okay, or our most weak, okay, attribute is lacking regulation because we are still starting. When we say we are starting, we are talking about proving demand for our service. How can we go fly high when we are still not sure that our wings are strong to fly? So understand with us that we have to start from the scratch. Okay, we have to start from the basis, from the level, okay, from the ground level before we start storing high. Now we have another competition, which is Estate Guru. This is in real estate and it is P2P. It offers 10 to 12% returns, right? PSL's advantage here is lower entry and also diversification model. By now, you should have known what a diversification model means, right? But Estate Guru is collateralized and transparent, which for now, you might say PSL is not transparent. But who says PSL is not transparent? I am the founder, Francis Bestman Isugu, and I'm giving you the story of our development as we go, one level to the other. Okay, so you can't find this kind of founder story anywhere on the internet. This is what makes us transparent. Every new development I report, and so it will continue. So we are transparent because at the founding stage, I'm not hiding any information from our public, okay, which includes you listening to me right now. If you have heard about PSL, it is because I've been telling my stories again and again. And I've mentioned the people behind my project. Okay, these are the co-founders. I've mentioned Chief Bartholomew. I've mentioned Madam Augustina. I've mentioned Barrister Felicity. These are people I know one-on-one. Okay, we are a team. We play as a team. Okay, and we are building something that we all have a shared vision and belief in. This is transparency. All right. So now for the non-classified, okay, and non-specific competition out there among the minor players, we're talking about typical HYIPs, that is high yield investment programs, right, or investment schemes. Now, these are generally unregulated high yield programs promising 20 to 100% monthly. You see, these people are the schemes you can pack among the scams, the pyramid scheme, the multi-level marketing, the network marketing, okay. PSL's advantage here is that we have physical hubs and we keep expanding physical hubs. Most of them don't have, all right? We are into job creation and we add legitimacy, okay, to our project. But generally, high income or high yield programs, okay, are classified Ponzi red flags. Our PSL's 20% monthly promise might fit, okay, the unsustainable pattern of high yield. But like I told you, this is not because we are in that cadre. We are not in the cadre of a scam or a pyramid scheme. We are only offering what is currently easy enough to pay out because we are not yet under the regulatory radar. You understand, right? The moment we get under regulatory radar, this yield might go back, okay, might reduce. But for now, this is an advantage of those who join us early because it is a critical moment for us. So we are not concerned about conserving profit for now. We are concerned about growing. So to make sure we grow, we want to attract all who can help us grow. And that is why we are rewarding them handsomely. That is where the 20% comes from. All right. Then we have another minor competition, which is Piggyverse or Cowrywise. Yeah, this is a non-platform Nigeria savings/investment app with 10 to 20% on fixed, right? Now, PSS advantage here is that we have higher yield potential. We also have Cowork perks, whereas for our competition, we're talking about Piggyverse or Cowrywise rather. These are regulated, transparent, low-risk savings. While PSL is tech-based with, some will say, opacity. That's porosiousness. Okay, so these are strong words, but remember, this is my project. I'm allowing you to know that there are loopholes that you might find, okay, which will make you not to want to be part of our project. But do not carry the bad message because this loophole are things you x-ray when something is still not fully boarded. Just imagine you look at a pear tree, okay, when it is shooting and you expect to find pear on it. That would be madness, okay, because a pear tree has to be fully mature to produce the pear. At that stage, you might want to kill it, right? What are you killing? Potential pear fruits that could have germinated or would have grown or been produced. So do not kill it because it is still small. Don't kill our vision because we are still small. To help us stand, you have to back us. And that is what is most important at this point. Not to find all the structures in place because we are building them as we experiment each need. Okay? So we are just like in a cradle at the smallest stage of our life, at infancy. All our potentials are embedded. You can find us in future becoming as big and as a giant as we hope to be. But if you do not support us now, you are not wishing us well. Now, finally, we have Rice Vest among our minor competition. Rice Vest is a popular Nigerian global stocks and ETFs project. Okay, so you can have access to ETFs or stocks on Rice Vest, and it is also diversified. So PSL's advantage here is impact plus local focus, whereas for the other advantage, RiceVest is regulated, it is market linked, while PSL promises fixed high returns. So comparatively, you see, most of our weakness lay down in the lack of regulatory framework at the onset. Because even if we wanted to seek SEC listing, for example, we lack the traction. It is because of the traction that we are out there looking for stakeholders to prove that there is demand for our service. So if we do not get you to support us, how can we go to SEC and get the license required to operate, or go to CBN, or go to other regulatory bodies, right? No, we need this level of traction, that is the demand, the support from our stakeholders for us to go that level to protect all of us. Okay, so we are asking you to support us so that we can become well structured and you also get protected in future. All right, so now let's talk about sustainability and reliability of the model. Again, this is still on a critical note. Okay, so for most persons who will want to feel like with all the weaknesses I've mentioned, they will say that in the terms of sustainability, PSL will have low to moderate, okay, outlook for sustainability. Then this is hinged on monthly 20% returns, claiming that it requires massive inflows to pay out. And it is almost like classic Ponzi dynamic, if not backed by real productivity. Remember, I said for those who don't really know the nitty gritty, okay, then hub operations will have to cost us salaries of 5.78 million naira plus payouts of 40.32 million naira per month per hub. This is quite on the high side, right? And then our project might demand consistent new stakes or renewals. These are the clear drawbacks, okay? And then scaling to 360 hubs. We're talking about massive number here, 10 cities. This will need enormous capital. Then we're talking also about the offline arbitrage when we use a fixed exchange rate, which is about 400 naira spread. Okay, this might help, but isn't enough. Then our virtual hub is in a test mode, okay, because we are testing demand. Hence, in long term, it will rely on trust and inflow. So for you, you might say this is a turn off because we are not fully well packaged, right? But that is from the outside view. From the inside view, we understand everything we are doing and we are communicating it bit by bit. You can only get the full information when you are within, because our secret sauce lies in how we operate within. Okay, what we say without is mainly sketchy. Okay, like summarizing the process. That's why I say it's sketchy. But when you come in, you see the full details. Now, on reliability, some will also say we have low reliability because we are unregulated, we have opaque revenue, that is to say beyond renewals or beyond arbitrage. Some will say we have high promise returns, which may scream red flags like high yield income programs or schemes, which often collapse when inflow is slow. Okay, then we might be running decentralized hubs, which is a good thing, and also plus the audit from our financial council authority, that will be good thing, but no independent verification, which means that we do not have third parties coming in yet. Yes, at this stage we are still very new. I'm not dismissing all of these weaknesses, okay? Then we have cyber risk, which has made us to pause our app development, and we have decided to use WhatsApp, which is still vulnerable to scams and phishing. And that is why even within our WhatsApp community, we give the advice on how to use. Okay. Now, remember, in the long run, we are going to have all of these loopholes addressed. But right now, we cannot address them all. Does it mean we should not do business because we have loopholes from the start? It is these loopholes that challenge us to fix areas that are necessary and critical to our success and operation. Okay, so I'm mentioning these loopholes so that you know that these are things we are aware of that we need to address, not reasons why you should run away from us. We are no criminals within our system of founders. Okay, we have people with high reputation in the industries we have worked in. Okay, our pedigree shouts or screams excellence, and you should trust us for this reason. Then our strengths. We address real Nigerian pain, which includes inflation, job scarcity, and access to premium spaces. I mean, if you look at this, you should be part of us. Then we have low barrier entry plus impact story, which attracts emotionally. I mean, our impact for those who will benefit from our project, man, you shouldn't want to be outside when this is really giving us, a good name. You should be part of those singing our praises by benefiting from inside, right? Now we have virtual tests that smartly reduces cost slash risk because we are now creating our CASHWAPP on WhatsApp rather than on App Store. Okay, so there is no risk, no database leakage, in other words. Okay, so everything is done internally, protecting our stakeholders. So this is a fine thing. This is strength for us. Then we have scaling mechanics, which encourage retention. So those who join us will not be hurrying out. That's what we are meaning or saying by retention, because you can scale, you can grow with us over time. These are good things. Then, on the weakness part, why you might want to run away again, we could be assessed as unsustainable in our yields without clear underlying profit beyond new money. And remember, I'm not giving you all our secret. It is not only new money that makes us workable or operational. We have the internal revenue that we generate, which is why we train people. So our revenue is coming from the people we have trained, the work they do, and the reliance on our own scientific trading method. Okay, then on okay, let's not go back to referencing. The proofs are out there that our model works and it will continue to work. So I'm dismissing this very weakness of being unsustainable because we are very sustainable. It is not just new money that keeps us afloat. It is the money we generate from within that keeps us afloat. Then heavy reliance on trust. That is when we are doing the done for you in a space that is unregulated, like WhatsApp. Okay, remember WhatsApp is not regulated, right? And our platform is not in the regulated space too. Okay, yet we need you to trust us. Why do you need to trust us? Because yes, a project like ours needs trust. If you don't trust us, then what are you doing with us? That is when you are subscribing for our done for you stakeholders program, right? Those who are joining our CASHWAPP, I mean, those who meet us in the physical, we understand that, okay, yeah, we have a team of people. It is highly laden on trust. Then we also have high yield investment program look-alike in our promises, with some we think raise scam association. But to be clear, PSL, Cowork Network, is not associated with any scam. It is not founded by people who are interested in anything scam. Okay, if I should mention, you would like our profile. I mean, the profile of our founders. You would like our profile. So let's talk a little about our founders profile. So I myself talking with you, I am an internationally recognized author with about 14 books. And you search my title, they are online. Look at the theme I write on, all morality based. I cannot deceive anybody, okay? And then I have a religious background. So I cannot deceive anybody. Not just religious background, I'm talking about core religious background, not the shouty or shady religious background, okay? So core religious background. And then I've been into works that are about developing people, from young talents to those who are seeking their way into the freelance remote work space. Okay, I've been writing critically against cybercrime. I founded CCN Cyber Coast, which helps to find traces of scam activities in oil and gas industry and financial instrument sales. Okay, so I've been into this for a couple of years, investigating privately and also helping to address issues of reclaiming loss, okay, in a unique way. And I have a training program for those who want to go into cyber intelligence. Imagine that. I continue to also do steady intelligence work to investigate cyber possible scams. So how can I be part of a scam project, a project I am building to resolve or to revolve around my own vision for why people should work honestly and not seek quick gains, quick wealth. That is what I'm building. So this is my own profile. Then should I mention the profile of my co-founders? Okay. Man, you don't want to hear all of this gist. So let's go back to what we are talking about. You have to trust PSL Cowork Network because the people behind it are people you can trust. Then my colleague, our co-founder, remember we have 2 males, 2 females in our team. So one of our team mates is someone who has risen to the height of a judge. I mean, we're talking about Barrister Felicity here. Okay, so this is someone who has practiced in the legal sector for 25 years. She has been a close friend and continues to be a close support in my project. She has supported not just one of my projects. This is almost the 4th project she has been part of. Okay, and she is our legal advisor. Everything about our project is known, clear. So do you expect a judge in a caliber of a female personnel, okay, to be anything shady? No, you have to trust us. So should I mention the other 2 profiles we have? We are talking about people with credit. In fact, I have to mention so that you know that you're not dealing with people who are on the street looking for who to take advantage of. So Chief Bartholomew is someone who currently is the president or chairman of the Knights. We're talking about those who hold the pillar of trust in defending the faith in the Catholic Church. He is in charge of the training of knights. He has set up the knight commandery in different parts of Rivers State and now is in the national level. Okay, then he's someone who has excelled in the oil and gas industry. He has been one of the directors of a major oil and gas multinational, okay? And then he is a communication expert. How do you expect such a person to be involved in a criminal project? So, more to mention, or you'll find out the details as we proceed. Now, again, you want to look at our weakness of no regulation audits that are visible. For example, the Security Exchange Commission of Nigeria, right? Like I said, we are just starting. We do not have enough boy to go into those aspects. We have to prove demand. That is why we are talking to you. It is when we have proven demand, we have proven strong financial base, we can now go in to start asking the government, look at us, look at our records, okay? Now we are creating the record. We are building our profile. You are part of our profile. You are part of our record. So if you are not with us now, how do we advance? That is why we need you. Then lastly, we say our virtual hub could fragment if trust erodes. And you see what we are trying to do? We are trying to make sure that our platform currently has a strong needs, okay? All members who are recruited have a strong drive, strong reason to be part of our project. So the founders, trusting the founders will not be enough because we are not training people, independent people, to work with us, right? And these are the people that need your trust because we believe on our own level, if you cannot trust us, then you shouldn't be part of our project, seriously, right? But there is a reason why you may not trust those we are training or recruiting. So we are trying to make sure that we imbue in them the same values we carry as founders. And for that reason, you should trust us. All right. Now, let's talk about if we were to address these weaknesses, what and what are we going to do, right? So for transparency boost and how we can shine, okay? You might want us to publish our audited financials, okay? Our whole performance reports, our payout proofs monthly. And we have already promised members in our community that we are going to be doing this regularly. So that is nothing to worry about. Then regulation and how we can get regulated, right? You might want us to seek SEC Nigeria registration or partner with licensed entities. And we say this is in the long run. We have to build our base first because they will also review what is our financial record. Okay, and how long have we proven continuous, clean results? So we have to achieve the result for that's the traction before we go that level. So we are not saying we will not, but we say we need to cross the milestone to get there. Then we have also lower yield initially if we wanted to look more trustable, right? Or more reliable, right? We should start with something realistic like 5 to 10% monthly to build credibility. Hey, we don't need that. Yes, because we are far above that level. In fact, our recent proof shows that if we were to pay you 5%, we'll be cheating you. If we were to pay you 10%, we'll be cheating you. And we do not want to cheat you because right now that we are not regulated, we can afford to pay you as much as 20% and we want to pay you as much as 20% and even more depending on the program you join. So this is a good thing, something you should be proud of. Joining us at the start when you can actually get higher yield. Okay, so again, this is not meant to lure, but meant to make you understand that we are generous in heart, not just in practice to deceive. We are generous in heart, okay, because we care. So before the regulators start coming, beating down our path, we should have already given you enough returns for your initial contribution to our project, for trusting and believing in our vision and mission. All right, now we have final, or let's look at one more point. Focus on physical proof, right? If you want us to be acceptable more, we should open 1 to 2 hubs and showcase photos / job testimonials, right? These are the tactics that most of the scams projects do so that they look authentic. They go make videos, open one office, then start sending photos of testimonial. Hey, we are not into those noise making. Our project is about the people who we are training, okay, and how it is improving their lives. So, and we are also carrying privacy at the core, so we cannot be sharing all of these details. But within our community, we are going to be encouraging those who are within to share for those within, not for those outside. Remember, privacy means the security of our members. Okay, their information has to be safe and no noise making because we do not want to attract the regulators yet. We still have time to come to that level. All right, then you might want us to look at hybrid evolution, like use virtual traction to fund secure app later. That is, of course, what we are looking at. So it's nothing new. Now, risk education, we should emphasize it is high risk, not guaranteed. Yeah, this part is somehow emotional, right? Yes, to be honest, there is risk involved. And that is why in most of our performance videos, you can see the risk. I always mention it. So the risk we are talking about here is that, yes, the system we are basing our income on is a system that has market volatility, and we have a risk management plan for that. So if I don't mention it, then I will be doing you a disfavor, right? But I mention it and I also show you how it is addressed, okay? And that is what gives us the edge over a lot of programs out there. Then we should diversify revenue by adding masterclass fees, Cowork membership, and partnership. In fact, we have masterclass fees, okay? Then we also have Cowork membership, and but partnership for now, no. But this is what we are trying to do. For our actual hub users, we are removing their masterclass fee from the first month and transferring it to our stakeholders who need the service of virtual assistant, those who are subscribing for the Done For You program. Okay, so we are allowing them to pay the fees so that we don't exploit those who we are training. You don't need to pay to get trained to work for us, you see. So this is an edge. Most programs will not do it. We are subsidizing cost of entry by removing the barrier to entry when it has to do with fee for getting trained. This is one of the reasons why we are the best platform to work in remotely and hybrid as a professional in 2026 and beyond. All right, so overall, let's say PSL Cowork Network is intriguing for its impact-driven Nigerians seeking alternatives. Okay, then If you look at the high risk with Ponzi-like traits, you might say, hey, let's be afraid, or these people might not last long. But sorry, we are not among those who cannot last long, because we have all endured different hurdles that we are trying to solve or go above, okay, in our professional career. If I should tell the story again as I make it known during my pitch session for those in the chambers of commerce, right? I say, look at myself. I spent how many years as a professional? I didn't get paid. Okay. I have the best results as an academic. Still, no payment coming in to prove that this person has this kind of intellectual prowess, right? Then look at my chief. My chief has been retired since 1992. Okay. At this stage, what more can he do? Look at my other colleague, co-founder. She has been working for this entity, and for 6 months she was not being paid. Okay. Look at my other co or colleague. She has left the active practice, okay, and has been hustling as an entrepreneur. Okay. Then I come to a point where I assert that, okay, there is a time when your intellect may not be enough to keep you afloat financially. Okay. Even your intelligence will fail you, and your strength will fail you when age comes. But there are things that cannot fail you, and those are the things you should look at. And those include the assets you can get right now, because these assets could appreciate in value over time. So they won't fail you even when you have become weak or you have become dull intellectually. And these are the kind of assets we put our interest in. We pick gold among these assets and we specialize in it, because gold controls the currencies in the world. How do you see that? So we pick gold and we specialize in it. Gold is used in most of the ornaments and jewelries and everything central banks use to do their cash protection or hedge against inflation. Okay, so we specialize in gold, trading gold in this its current market value, and using our mathematical tools to project it accurately. Something that most algorithms, I'm talking about robots that are built to speculate market prices, have not been able to achieve. We achieve it anticipatorily with 100% accuracy. This is our edge. Then we also invest in people. So one of our strongest assets are the people we invest in training. Okay, these people, as they grow over time with our training, okay, the income they earn, they fall back to us, okay, to support our vision. They recommend people to us. So we are investing in the right assets, and these are the things you are also investing in when you fund us. So stop looking away. Stop telling yourself, PSL looks like one of these. We don't look like any. We are original. Our concept is original. And we want you to take us as original. Tell the good things about us outside. So we do not want you to be among those who would like to proceed with extreme caution, right? Who will want us to start with a tiny reward scheme, okay? Or who will want to say, okay, let us send payment proofs. These are the tactics that scammers use, right? Or who want to say we should be treated as speculative. And then if we cannot offer income proof to put our team, let's say, go against our privacy policy, then you do not want to be part of it. Hey, we are not in those, we are not looking for those who want to rush in and rush out. In one of my discussions or meeting with Chief, okay, that's my co-founder, I said, we do not want those who want to rush in and rush out, those who will put us under pressure. We want people who believe in our impact, in our vision, because we want those who can sustain the growth of our project through their continuous participation in our funding rounds. Okay, so since we are not going out for accredited investors who will fund us one time with a huge amount, we want people who can be part of us in piecemeal. So if it is $200 you can be part of us with weekly, you should be able to continuously fund us with $200. How do you see that? So instead of us to lock our opportunity to only those who have the big pockets and the huge fund right now, we are opening it up. So we want people who believe in that long-term support and contribution and sustenance. Not those who are trying us to see whether we work. No. And then we want you to know that because our yield will hold sustainably with real hub growth that you are going to see, know this for sure, that PSL Cowork network will evolve into something unique. And it is not about the classical warning of avoiding us for red flags. Okay? This is about us having the real edge that most entities lack. And I am transparently reporting, okay? Because I believe in what I am building with my team. So here is the good part. For those who would like to work with PSL Cowork Network, we have begun recruiting the first 37 staff members for our virtual hubs, plus the first 37 staff for our physical hubs. So recently, I went to negotiate a new hub, and that is with Pizza Hunt, a very beautiful space, conducive atmosphere, good for my people to be deployed to work from. So because of this, I need to populate it with the next team of professionals, and these are those that will be recruiting to join the PSL Cowork network. So if you are in Port Harcourt, you can now join our 37 physical hub staff members to work from our co-work space. We have one yet to be populated at Blue Ridge Land and the next one at Pizza Hunt. Okay, and then we want you to serve our stakeholders as virtual assistants, working hybrid in-hub, and also on our WhatsApp virtual hubs. But if you are not in Port Harcourt, you can join our first 37 virtual admins and virtual hub managers. So the only requirement is to build the virtual hub, and that is where you get your first pay from. Your simple task is to invite people to our community and give them your hub assigned code, plus help them find their way as stakeholders in our virtual hubs. Now, can you build up a community of 36 paid stakeholders here on WhatsApp or wherever? Then you are the right person for the job. Wanted to say yes to this invitation by requesting to join the group for staff requirements only. Okay? So join the group for our staff recruitment. You don't pay any fees to join as a staff. It is serious work waiting for you. Plus, the pay for completing your task as a community admin is over $656 per month. Hey, let's repeat that, $656 per month. So this payment is different from the basic that we pay $5 to $5 to $9 per hour for those who we recruited in our physical hub. This is because you are part of those building our community. So we are paying you much higher for your contribution. Okay, so it is serious work, and we want you to start strong. We are waiting to train you for the job once you are approved to join. To get approved, send us your join request and start inviting members to the community. Then keep a record of those you invite to the community by sending them the tracking code we assign you. We believe.
Welcome to the PSL CASHWAPP A1 Virtual Hub. Imagine the energy of Port Harcourt at sunrise, a city full of promise. Here at our PSL Cowork Network space, young professionals gather, connect, and grow together. This is part 1 of 20. Welcome and why this community exists. PSL started with real hubs in Port Harcourt, trusted by local leaders. Now we're building a safe, official WhatsApp-based space for all Nigerians. Remember, payments always go through official channels, never to personal accounts. Reflect on why you joined and look forward to part 2, understanding the 2 paths. Visit our website to learn more. Welcome to the PSL Cowork Network onboarding experience. Imagine starting your journey at sunrise with aerial views over Port Harcourt's vibrant cityscape, leading you to our contemporary co-working space where innovation thrives. Step inside and meet a community of young Nigerian professionals collaborating, learning, and building something extraordinary together. As one of our founding 37 staff, you're not just joining a team, you're shaping the future. There are no fees to join, just real work, real training, and real pay. Our vision is to expand across Nigeria, empowering local talent and stakeholders. What excites you most about helping others become PSL stakeholders? Share your thoughts below and stay tuned for part 2 coming tomorrow. Visit our website to learn more.
So with the quality of information I have given you, I believe it is time for us to pack our bags and choose where we are headed. Reminder, our home, the home we are building for those who are ready to start owning their homes, is something you can't find anywhere else. Okay, and for all the details I've given you, reviewing the opportunity in PSL, comparing it with big competitions, small competitions, the red flags that many people will see, say we are unregulated and all of that, right? We don't want you to worry about any of those areas where we are currently weak, because we are going to grow above these weaknesses with time. We only want you to support our operation, choose how you join our stakeholders community. Right now, everything borders around stakeholders. But for those who want to work with us, I've already mentioned all the reasons why working with us would be an advantage. Look at earning $656 per month. In Nigeria, you can't boast of how many entities will pay you that, especially for work platforms like ours, right? You can't boast of any. So this is a good opportunity for you to take advantage of. I remain Francis Bestman, the founder of PSL Luxury Lifestyle brand, building PSL Cowork network with my team of Chief Bartholomew Ugu, Madam Augustina, Barrister Felicity. Thank you for trusting PSL Cowork network.
A Nigerian family crowds into a small rented apartment. The parents worry over bills at a cramped table while their child studies on the floor. The air feels heavy with longing for something better.
And that something better is what we offer in our PSL Home Owners Program, a program like no.
Suddenly, the scene softens. The family's eyes close and their surroundings dissolve into a vision of hope. A stunning, detached modern villa. Spacious interiors, soaring high ceilings, and sunlight pouring in. Reality blends with the dream as the family joyfully arrives at their new home, stepping inside for the first time.
PSL Homes bring your dreams to reality.
With PSL Luxury Lifestyle's VHF rent-to-own plan, move into your dream home in just 6 months. No massive upfront savings needed. Enjoy 5 months free to live, love, and confirm bataille, it's truly yours.
Only PSL gives you this kind of experience.
Laughter in the kitchen, streaming movies with high-speed internet, working out in a home gym, checking security on a CCTV app, and a luxury car pulling into the driveway.
There is so much value waiting to be unpacked for choosing to own a home with PSL.
50% margin on real costs, full title ownership, and elite perks included. The family receives the title deed, symbolizing generational wealth. Grandparents beam with pride as a child plays outside.
PSL cares, don't be left out.
Break the rent cycle. First-time ownership made easy. Build lasting security. Why wait? Your dream home is closer than you think. Comment your biggest housing barrier, visit the website, or DM @CT East and Cybercops to start. Experience luxury. Own with ease.
Welcome to the PSL Cowork Hub, where vision meets collaboration. Dedicated leaders drive our mission, funding multiple projects weekly. With 960,800 monthly, we empower our communities. Witness the transformation, clean water access in rural Nigeria. Building educational opportunities for our future generations. Providing essential supplies for orphaned children. As our community thrives, we remain grateful for your support. Join us and secure your founding stake today. Only 720 spots available. For inquiries, WhatsApp, call 0810-242-7303 or email psluxurylifestyle@gmail.com. PSL, eternal impact through protected income.